Welcome to Fandom Fridays with Hope. Hello, Epic Hero. I'm reading some fanfics for you and for me and for any geek nerds and fangirls in the world. I have a Wattpad linked below where I put all my fanfics from all my nerdy interests: Stargate, Star Trek, Marvel, a lot of Loki, some Merlin, the occasional Fanfic. This one is a Stargate fanfic, and it's called The Night That Never Happened. It may or may not have been written after we finished watching Stargate and I was crushed at the fact that Daniel and Vala never ended up together. If you haven't seen Stargate, Daniel is this sort of nerdy archaeologist who gets recruited to go on these planets and visit the aliens, because most of them are like actually people that were taken from Earth, from ancient cultures, and placed on other planets. So he knows a lot of times their languages from studying their ancient languages, and he knows how to uncover the artifacts and things like that. Anyway, and he's with this other lady that he met on one of the planets, and she's a trickster. She's like sexy, flirtatious, and funny and silly. She obviously really likes him, but she plays around with guys all the time to get what she wants. It's clear. And they have a cute friendship developing throughout the show, and she becomes more and more trustworthy, but she finally, in one scene, tells him how she feels, and he doesn't react very well. But then, after that happens, because it's sci-fi and it's how things work, it kind of, something happens where that never actually happened, like it gets erased from time. And so they never actually end up getting together in the show, and I was so upset by it. I read a fanfic about the night that never happened. I look at her. Her tears were real. I think they were real. Something in the pit of my stomach sunk, plummeted. No, I'm far too easily manipulated. And she's far too good at manipulating people. Words spilled from my mouth, daggers. I felt like a ghost, like I'd left my body and was watching me standing there yelling at a crying, hurting woman. Me, Daniel Jackson, who once would have been the last person to say hurtful things to an obviously already hurting person. For one, I wouldn't have had the guts. For two, I wouldn't have been able to articulate the rage or confusion. I watch myself, everything in me trying to scream at myself to stop hurting her, but I couldn't stop, because the other part of me was yelling at myself that for God's sake, to do anything to not let her make me fall in love with her. She sat on my bed, in my small metallic bedroom, in the Earth spaceship Prometheus. Her black hair, her sharp-featured face, a loose sweater and pants stood in sharp contrast to her usually seductive clothes. I'd been so good at keeping her away, keeping her from getting to me. I'd been so good, if I do say so myself, at becoming very good friends with Vala, but keeping myself from liking her in that way. I was too naive, I knew that. Too naive to keep her from falling for her lies, her acting. She tricked me into thinking she liked me or cared about me one too many times for me to even pretend to believe her now. Ever since I met her trying to take me hostage, to steal my ship, to the years of successful rehabilitation and even working alongside each other, she's never stopped trying to bend the rules, con one person or another, steal this or that, seduce this man or the other. Sure, she tried hard to be better, but if she thought that I was some toy to be played with like all her other sexual flings, she messed with the wrong archaeologist. Did she think I was some guy who could just bet a girl for fun and move on? Did I look like a playboy to her? No, I didn't. That's why I must be so fun to play with. She knew losing my wave came inches from destroying me years after the fact. How dare she try to make me feel something again that could destroy me like that? How dare she try to use me to her advantage? Did she have any idea how hard it was to pretend I wasn't attracted to her? To try to be kind and not give in to childish lies and flirtations? All this time I yelled at the friend in front of me. I yelled at her. Did I know I was hurting her? Yes. She wilted at my words, but I couldn't stop. I wouldn't listen to her toy tears. No, I wouldn't be her toy. I wouldn't lose the friendship we'd spent years developing. No. Silence reigned, at last. Silence had been begging to be heard, and as soon as I stopped yelling knives at one of my best friends, silence fell thick on the room. She sat there, bleeding. She wouldn't look at me. I heard her lies, quiet snivels, and my heart went sick. No, she won't hurt me. But what was I doing? Hurting her to keep her from hurting me? I had to. This wasn't me. I don't hurt people. I sat down on the bed next to her. If I know anything, which I don't, those tears were real. Against every fear, I touched her shoulder, and she dropped her face into her hands. What? Just give me a minute. Her British voice broke with pain. What had I said? Lots of things. My stomach hung on the edge of a cliff. Could I jump over with no assurance of what was on the other side? Her empty eyes stood there in front of me, tears glittering on her lashes. Silly face. That flirty, selfish, extravagant, mischievous little stupid, wonderful little lost girl. Trying so hard not to be found out for the broken vase she was. I knew it all along. I pushed her face my way. I knew it. I knew she honestly wanted honest love for once. She finally looked up and I felt a light shine from behind my eyes. I was letting it down. I was letting it go. I felt a warm light shining, reflected in her eyes. I took her chin and let it take its place, kissing her. Her genuine child, yet ages old, broken shards met me with hope and release, something I had almost missed. I pulled back. I smiled at her face, accepting it. And it felt right, but I said, "You better not be messing with me." Her eyes answered that question with a depth of softness I had never seen before. And so, it happened. The next morning, I opened my eyes to stillness. The quiet whir of the ship mimicked birds of earth in my mind. Everything was still. Everything was quiet. Everything was perfect. The girl lying on the bed beside me was not the Vala I'd known years before. Only she really was. I always knew she was in there. I always knew it. But I didn't dare believe it because I'm an idiot. Because I'm an idiot. But thanks to the grace of God, I'm the happiest idiot who ever lived. I let warm, tense breath leave my mouth in the quiet of the dawn, touching Vala's cheek gently with a finger. Shari was my one and only. The old Daniel's only true love and companion. The new Daniel, a bit more broken and hurtful and lost, could never have imagined to find a companion as genuine and perfect, someone who just as broken and lost as he was. Her eyes fluttered open and she turned on her pillow and rested her head against my chest, still asleep. I bent my head and kissed the top of hers. "Hey, sweetie," I said with a little irony. She blinked groggily and I laughed quietly. "Is it breakfast time already?" She yawned and rubbed her eye. "Just about." I sighed, watching her. She cuddled closer to me and closed her eyes. I am not a morning person. I pulled her covers a little higher. "There's chocolate donuts." With a groan, she sat up and stretched, swinging her legs over the edge of the bed. "I'm up!" I sat watching her with a smile as she stumbled for the door. "Hey?" I fake annoyance, and she groggily turns around. "What, did I forget my shirt or something?" "No." glasses from the bedside table and slipped them on, then crossed my arms, staring sternly at her. What? She seemed concerned. I don't get a good morning kiss? Her frown changed quickly into a smile that spanned into a wide grin. She ran and jumped on the bed on top of me. I laughed, falling backwards onto the bed. Whoa! I didn't know kisses were so all-encompassing. I laughed. She pulled my glasses off, neatly folded them, sticking them in her shirt pocket. They on now, Daniel Jackson. And I smiled at her. So, that was my version of how Daniel and Vala's story should have ended. Tell me what you thought of it in the comments below, if you're a Stargate fan or not. And if you want to see more artsy nerdy stuff by yours truly stumbling through art, fandoms, and life, hit subscribe. Subscribe and hit the bell so that you'll be notified when I make new videos. Otherwise, how will you even know that I made a new video? And you'll just miss all these beautiful videos. Sorry. Anyway, so I will see you in the next video. And hey, always remember that we are epic heroes today and every day of our lives.